If you could only hear the show before the show, in between the show, during the show, it's awesome. Welcome back to Sunrise. If you're just joining us, welcome. It's now time for headlines. We head over to the headlines queen, and we usually say this every time we head over. When TK come pan up, we don't want bad news pan up, only good news pan up. With the vibes pan it up, pan up. Hey!
I missed that song. It's been a while.
Well,
good morning. It's good to see you guys.
You too, TK.
Hey, held us down, you know. I'm so proud of you.
I tried. I worked on it.
But you see, when she smells so, she don't have good news.
Good news. Yeah. I'm going to give you a little of this and a little of that this morning. How does that sound? You ready for it?
Let's go.
Okay, let's go.
All right, well then let's jump into it. So Westmorland police vow to reduce murder rate. Okay, so Westmorland recorded the second highest murder rate this year in Jamaica with 57 murders, following closely behind St. James with 73. The police, who have pledged to reduce the figures and crime overall in the parish, carried out a search operation Monday, sometime between 3:30 and 6 p.m. for violence producers. Commanding Officer Superintendent Othniel Dobson says his team will continue working to rid the communities of criminals.
That's a good sign.
So work is being done. Work is being done.
Yeah, it's definitely something that we want to see change. We want to see, I mean, I talk about this all the time, and I'm like, you know, boy, for such a small place, we are riddled.
It's too high. And you know, growing up, usually it was Kingston was the place, and I thought when crime left Kingston, it left the country.
Not leave, but...
it went to another parish, and it's sad to see
it is, man.
Our parishes, rural parishes,
mash up
anywhere
everything.
in Jamaica. It does. But happily, they are working harder to protect citizens, you know, and to help us to experience a reduction in the crime reports, crime levels in the country, the violence in the country. I really appreciate the work the police force is doing, because I can't do it.
Yeah, and it's ongoing. It's ongoing.
Thankless and constant.
Yes, constant, yes.
But to your point, I understand, because my grandparents are from Westmorland, and so they used to be terrified to come to Kingston, because they're like, Kingston is so violent. So the idea that Westmorland is now recording the second highest numbers from is like, that's crazy to them. You know what I mean? That's a complete change from what it's coming from. So you're right. It seems like there's a shift. A shift. It feels. Dennis always says to do the numbers support this, and I'm not going to know. But in terms of just how it feels, it feels like you know, the crime is everywhere now versus concentrated in a particular place. So kudos to the JCF, and all the best to you.
Hard-working peace officers.
Next up, Causeway Fisherfolk appeal for help. So fisherfolk from the new Causeway fishing village is calling on the authorities to help clear mounds of debris left by Hurricane Beryl, distancing them from their means of survival. Bare feet with rakes in hand, they rallied together to clean up the mess left behind by Hurricane Beryl. Their livelihood is threatened by plastic waste, discarded fishing gear, and other debris. They are appealing to the authorities for assistance. Portmore Mayor Leon Thomas says the municipal corporation is aware of the situation and help is on the way for the fisherfolk.
I hope so. I mean, I'm so glad that we are showing this footage right now, because it is unbelievable. Like, you can tell people, but when you see it, you're realizing how dire the situation actually is, and that they can't do that alone. They're gonna need a lot of help to be able to clear that.
But they can't do it alone. Watch the video carefully. You will see 5 men moving along together, and that's symbolic. That tells me, see, that you cannot do it by yourself. But together, you can do it.
Yeah, they're gonna need some heavy equipment. They're gonna need, they're really gonna need real help to like get this cleared. And remember, this is people's livelihoods, and it trickles all the way back down to you watching on your television screen right now or on your phone. And so it is important that we protect these fishing villages, fisherfolk, make sure that they're back on their feet and get back to
and earning, you know?
Absolutely, so important.
But also, you know, we say this all the time. I feel like a broken record when we talk about this, but let's do it anyway. There's less to clean up if we stop dumping our stuff.
This is a much bigger issue, and it has. I mean, absolutely. And it's mostly plastic waste, as you can see.
Plastic waste means people's garbage.
Yeah,
and then,
exactly.
So I mean, okay, here what? Let's start fresh. this is the result of what happens when you throw your stuff away. Sometimes you think, okay, I'm just throwing this in the gully. I'm just throwing this out the window. It's no big deal. This is what happens. We have a hurricane and it mashes up the country because it blocks our drains. It gets into areas that it's a problem to clean. Let's stop doing that.
And that's a prime example of every mickle make a muckle.
Exactly.
Because every mickle make a buckle. Everybody just thinks, I can just throw my thing here. Who cares? And that is the result of that same thing on the flip side.
Exactly, exactly. All right, let's go to our Why Not Wednesday headline. All right. So, curious Colorado canine turns on stove and starts a fire.
Oh, no.
Okay, so firefighters in Colorado shared security camera footage from a home where a curious canine investigating some boxes on its owner's stove started a fire. So the Colorado Springs Fire Department said on social media that crews responded to a home on Rushmore Drive on a report of a possible structure fire. The man who put out the kitchen fire was treated for smoke inhalation, and there were no other injuries reported to human or animal residents. This is a good reminder to always have working smoke alarms inside and outside every sleeping area and on every floor of the home. Ensure all combustibles are away from your stovetop or oven, and know 2 ways out of every room in your home in the event of a fire. And that's what fire officials
That is good information. And you know, I don't feel like it's practiced here to have smoke alarms in our homes. Like, it's not a normal thing. Whereas if you go to the States or even in England, every house has fire alarms. And that's what helps you to be alert and aware that something is happening. But that dog, if I wouldn't cuss him.
And then...
Well, he's in Colorado. That dog is probably going to therapy. Anyway, thank you for the good news, the not so good news, and the funny news.
A little twinkle of everything.
Mercy, I can't about it. All right, when we return, we'll have a few hummingbirds in the studio. And trust me, you don't want to miss this.